everyone, it's Kelly from The Truth and Story, and today is day 6. Oh, you know what? Let me get my paper. I think I'm really topping it out for crazy hair today. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, day 6 of 31 days of tarot. And the question today, I'm just going to nail right into the question and then I'll bother chit-chatting. Tell me about the time you gave your first tarot reading. That was a very long time ago, which I actually think is the next question. But my very first tarot reading would have been about, what did I figure? 2012. Would have to be 13 years ago. I don't know. I have to try to figure out the year. I need to message my friend and try to figure out when I went to Maine. But I want to say it's been about 13 years ago. And I might have given, when I was with my friend in Maine and picked up the deck, I might have given her a tarot reading then. If so, I don't really remember it. I do remember when I got home with the deck, because I probably would have, knowing myself, I would have wanted to read the whole guidebook, and this was with the Llewellyn Tarot, and I would have wanted to really read the whole guidebook and stuff before I actually did a tarot reading. So I'm pretty sure my first, officially tarot reading would have been with my next door neighbor, a friend of mine who was a next door neighbor at the time, and I learned a lot to do about tarot reading from her. I would go over to her house a lot and do readings and practice on her, and generally it was always the Celtic, I want to say generally, but I would almost want to say it was always the Celtic cross spread, and it was obviously always the Llewellyn Tarot because that's the one I had. And so yeah, I learned a lot from her, and it was fun because she was my friend, and so I could at first just kind of have the book and to learn, kind of look. I kind of go intuitively. I do remember being able to get into the flow of it, but then sometimes there'd be a card in a position I'd be like, being able to just look it up, and so it was a really excellent way to learn. And then it kind of spread. I remember giving one to my sister, one of my sisters, my oldest of my youngest sisters would be the only one I would have given a tarot reading to, and other friends, kind of spreading out from there. I do remember there were some friends of ours that we knew from Mike, that their son had a similar thing that Michael's disease, and I remember being at a hotel room and giving them readings, and I know that was when I was more confident, because I don't think I had at that time I don't think I used the guidebook at all, so I must have been more comfortable then. And they actually had a cousin or somebody come in and visit, and I remember that was the first time I did a cold reading, with somebody that I didn't know at all, and it was quite interesting and went really well. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of details. I just know it was definitely with my friend who lived next door at the time, and that it had to have been roughly 13 years ago or so. So that would be, my best guess on that particular question. Which actually, I guess I might as well do it, which really sucks because the next question for tomorrow is, how long have you been reading the tarot for? But then it also says, do you think you ever stop? And we will wait, but I've pretty much already answered the question. I'm sure I'll find something else to add to that and babble about, so I'm going to leave that alone. But, so that would have been my first tarot reading. Not an exciting story because it was 13 or so years ago. I don't remember any details except for thinking this was really cool. I do remember thinking things were clicking and things were working and making sense, and I remember thinking, okay, this is really cool. But I don't remember a whole lot of detail about it other than I felt like it was all meshing, even though I do think I had to look a couple things up on my very first one. But I felt like I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is about. There was that sense of, oh, okay, hello, I get this. I'm liking the feel of this kind of thing. So it's this is a short one today because you know what, I don't remember a whole lot of details about it. I know it was with the Llewellyn Tarot because that's the only tarot I had. I know it was with my neighbor. If not, it was with my friend from Maine. I might have given her a reading. I'll have to message her. And if I'm wrong, I will fix it tomorrow. But I might have given her one, but it would have just kind of been saying, okay, let's see what these are about. Like, I don't feel like it would have been really a reading. So I'm pretty sure about that. But yeah, I don't have a great amount of details about it. I just do remember that feeling of, okay, I like this. Like, this feels right. Like, this really is connective. This is really connecting. It's making sense. I remember it being helpful for my friend. And so, yeah, and it just kind of, I have good memories of it. That's the best I can say. So there, whoa, we thought, oh, I hope I didn't, I think this is the card I just dropped, but hopefully this is not one I can't see because Isabel will eat it, as you know. So this will be an extra short one today. You're like, phew, because this can only be a couple minutes, but I knew, like, if I wouldn't ramble so much, these could be very, very short videos. I do need to get out some other videos because, you get into the groove of doing daily ones, and I've kind of not. Well, I do, because I have some more walkthroughs. Actually, tonight I'm uploading, so that should be up any time now. I don't know which one will end up being first uploaded, but I do have the walkthrough of the Oracle, the Stone Oracle, the Kamini Rusang. Something like that. I have this one. This should either be up already, or if you're seeing this video first, this will be up shortly after this one. So I have that one coming up. I still have a couple more walkthroughs to do to catch myself up before I start getting decks coming in. I did get a message today that my Rackham Oracle, which was my first Oracle or deck purchase of the year, I did get a message that it had shipped, but it says it's going to take 15 days. Now, it said the whole process was 15 days before, and it's been a week or so, I guess. It was last week. I'm not sure exactly what day it is, but so I don't know if that's accurate, that it's going to take 15 days. It's in the United States, so I can't imagine anything taking that long to get to me unless they just like really sent it it was free shipping. So I just feel like even with basic mail, it's going to not take 15 days. So I don't know. That's going to be a surprise whenever that gets here, but it has been shipped. So I'm really, really extraordinarily excited about that. I do know that I have a package coming in tomorrow from somebody, and so tomorrow may be kind of a combo mail day, because I'll go to my post office and check that. So there may be, tomorrow's probably going to be longer than today, but that's okay. We're just kind of rolling with what we're getting. So, today I am using the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle. Again, I've done a review of this. I don't really consider this to be a tarot deck, although it has, tarot things about it, but I do consider this to be an oracle deck, and it calls itself an oracle deck in all fairness. But I do really like this deck, even though that was a very bad draw, or it didn't feel like it split right. So sometimes because I split, I don't think you can see, I split with this like a dropping motion, and where it splits, so that's how I do split a deck, or how I cut a deck. But every once in a while with sticky decks, it will split and they'll just fan and it won't have an obvious break. That doesn't happen very often. This deck is a little bit sticky because it's very glossy, and so when it does that, I tend to reshuffle, or kind of keep shuffling and split again, because I like there to be a very definitive split. So I kind of go woof, and it kind of breaks, and then I take the top card, which we have Control, and this is a beautiful card. This is this a sword, or, because that's one thing you have to watch with this one, because the black and the blue look very close to each other. So number 8, yeah, this would be a major arcana. Yeah, so this would be strength, is Control instead of strength. And look so you have her with her eyes closed. She has the helmet on, which is in a lot of the ones with the air in terms of the mind and guarding the mind. So I quite like that. And so we have that sense of needing but her eyes are open here. So I quite love that imagery of going in, but then also looking outward. Now, I don't remember if, I'm going to peek on this really quick, because is 8 strength, or is it 11 is 11 is detach. No, that's justice. Acceptance, yeah, so no, this would be equivalent to the strength card. I just wanted to make sure, because with the winged kind of look here, I thought, it could go either way. But I really do like this because she's looking inward, and because for me, the strength card is about going inward and finding, now this talks about control over your inner self, which I don't like that keyword so much, because I think it's that coming to terms with, coming to acceptance with, coming to a degree of understanding. So you kind of closing your eyes and going inward to kind of understand how your inside and your outside all fit together. But then they have the open eyes, which kind of shows that clarity that's given once we do that we need to go inward and kind of come to terms with our shadow selves, both our bright shadows and our dark shadows. That's something I learned from a moon card, that I absolutely love that idea, that there are things that are in shadow that are broken bits of us, things like that need to be reconciled. And there's also bright shadows, which are pieces of ourselves that have been suppressed, but they aren't negative in any way, shape, or broken. It's just they've been suppressed, like a woman maybe being taught that they shouldn't seek achievement. That is a bright shadow, being competitive. So maybe they're a competitive personality type, and that's been suppressed because they were taught that that wasn't very feminine. So that would be a bright shadow, something that's been suppressed, but it's not anything that's negative that needs to be fixed. It just needs to be released. So I just like this double imagery of the closed eyes and the opens, because it's going to go inward and reconcile what needs to be reconciled, bring up what needs to be brought up. And then that open eyes of showing, okay, I've got everything, and now I can open my eyes and see clearly things for what they are, have control over myself instead of somebody else having control over what I accept and what I don't accept, what's good, what's bad, all those kinds of things. I've taken back control over my internal self. And so that kind of fits, I think, with the strength card. And that's a really good message for us, I think, today, is that idea of taking back control yourself and figuring out what things that you need to reconcile, what things need healing, what things just need to be brought back up. So I do think that that is a fantastic card for today, and I hope that that gives you some ideas of kind of thinking about how you might go about that process and being able to that way move forward into the rest of the month with your eyes wide open, like we can see on these other set of eyes. So I hope that that helps in some way. And that was day 6 of the 31 days of tarot in January. And I will see you tomorrow.